Yeah, man. I love that theme song. I just do. It makes me feel good.
You said you had a friend that made that for you?
No, I actually found it online.
Oh.
Yep.
Well, shout out to whoever the hell that was.
Man, that's a good beat, man. But good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in your day or in the world. This is the What You Know About It podcast. It's Roz always, with my boys always, Edgar.
Still here, guys.
Still here?
Still here. Definitely haven't been fired yet.
Were you expecting to get terminated?
I mean, every other episode, I feel like you want to find a replacement. So
Because you keep saying wild shit.
the people are wondering, when is it going to finally happen, you know?
When I finally get an application? Actually, I only got one app, and then that person got busy. So I guess I'm stuck with you.
I don't blame anybody for not applying. I mean, who wants to partner up with somebody that's going to nonstop talk about Tom Brady?
Tom Brady's the greatest ever.
Yeah.
Do we do this every show?
That's the drop. You're good. Let's move on.
Oh, God. How was your, you know how this goes, man. How was your week, man?
The week was good. We had, what did we do since the last time we saw each other or hang out or did like a recording? Valentine's Day happened.
Was that? Oh, yeah. That did happen.
We did have that. Some of us remember, the others that don't need to, right? Not this year, at least.
I don't have a reason to remember.
So, Chrissy and I did the scrapbooking thing like I talked about.
Dope.
Those good times.
Dope.
We actually went out to, what is that place? Cabazon? You know where that's at? Where the outlets are out there by Palm Springs?
Mm-mm.
Before you hit, it's after like Morongo and all those casinos out there.
Okay.
There's these dinosaurs that were created there, which I found out later on that they were created by the person.
Wait. Dinosaurs were created in Morongo?
Look, hold on. You can't just cut me off after saying dinosaurs are created.
That's what I heard.
There's
Dinosaurs were
these
created
dinosaurs
in Morongo.
out there made out of concrete that were created by the same guy that made some of the stuff at Knott's Berry Farm or something like that in Calico.
Oh, that's not as exciting.
The dinosaurs were featured in movies like Pee-wee's Pee-wee's Top, or whatever it's called, the first movie that he made.
What was it? Those dinosaurs that they show in The Wizard? You ever see The Wizard?
Yes, the same ones.
Okay.
But they paint them for like holidays and stuff like that. So for Christmas time, they make the T-Rex look like Santa Claus. For Valentine's Day, they were like pink and like had hearts on them and stuff. It was kind of cool. So we just went out, drove out, checked out the dinosaurs, went through the In-N-Out drive-through, ate in the car, drove home, scrapbooked.
Okay.
It was a nice little Valentine's Day.
Dope. So guess what I forgot to do just now?
What'd you do?
I forgot to actually hit record on Pro Tools. So the world, whoever listens to the audio version of this podcast, they just missed your whole little spiel.
Guess
That's
we're going to have to go to the YouTube video to find out what I did for Valentine's Day.
That is a good plug, sir. That is a good plug. But it's okay. It's okay. Mistakes happen. And see, this is what happens when I try to be, perfect. I was like, we got to get the show perfect.
Well, you're what? Director, producer, videographer, cameraman.
I wear many hats, including this Patriots one.
That's the only hat I've ever seen you wear. So again, why we haven't had that many applications for my replacement.
Wow. So you're faulting the success of the show or failure, however you want to see it.
No.
On me.
I mean, the hat, if the hat fits.
Well,
Rob.
you know what? I always say it like this. I only need one idiot to be by my side, and you, sir, are that idiot right now.
I try.
Hey, tell me about you went to Super Bowl Sunday. Where were you at? What do you call that place?
Cabazon.
Yeah. Was that what you were just talking about just now?
That
was that place. Oh,
that
okay.
was the dinosaurs.
Oh, that's what that was. Okay.
That's where the dinosaurs were.
Okay, I thought it was oh, all right. Is
one idiot, huh?
Yeah. Well, no, I thought you were talking about a different place. But I don't know.
No, that was the only thing we did.
Everything's kind of looped together. This is what it is. Yeah, I don't know, but I didn't do anything, so this is my usual do.
But you watched the game, I assumed.
Of course, I watched the game. I mean, any other red-blooded American would be watching the Super Bowl.
I mean, I know some people that didn't watch it.
I know one, and he's sitting right across from me. I mean, you know what?
You know two if you count Christy.
But I don't hold Chrissy those kind of standards. Just you.
That's rude.
Why? Why?
Because she's a woman.
I didn't say that. See, hey, be careful. We are in a place of cancel culture. Don't get us canceled. We just trying to get started.
I mean, if that's not a good segue, I don't know what is.
Yeah, man. What's up, John? I see you. How you doing, man? Thanks for joining us.
There are other things that happened that just happened today, actually. So this will kind of give away when we're recording this. But I don't know if you heard the news that Daft Punk is going to break up, that they're done 28 years creating music together.
Wait. They're not breaking up. They're stopping, right? They're just not making music.
I mean, for me, that's breaking up. Like,
no, breaking up is different. Breaking up is
a relationship,
different.
Man.
That means
they're no longer a duo.
Yeah, but that means like we're going our separate ways. I'm gonna go do some other fly shit because I don't want to fuck with you anymore for whatever reason.
Okay.
You know, it could be like we've been together forever. I'm gonna do my own shit, or it could be like, hey, we've had our run, we are retiring. You know,
let us fade off into the sunset.
Yeah, you know, like
damn well they're not done. There's no way that these guys are like done recording music together.
I just want one of those helmets. Those helmets are so man. That's all I want. If I can get one, just before I go, you know, that'd be nice.
I've always wanted to see them live. Like, I feel like their live shows are probably so intense.
Yeah. I actually wouldn't have been up on that news had you not sent it to me. I'd be too busy.
Yeah. It just came up on my Instagram feed. I mean, it was big enough that like 2 different outlets that I follow said it.
I've come to value your little
my DMs.
Yeah, even though I'm like, man, motherfucker, send me a text. You always send it to like Instagram, and then you force me to go on Instagram, and I don't really want to be on Instagram.
That's where all the news happens for me.
I'm like, man, like he sent it. I gotta open this damn app. You know?
Yep.
So that's why sometimes I like look at it and then I just kind of click out, and I'm like, nah, I'm not really trying to be on Instagram. I don't know. I have my moments.
I usually don't send anything unless it's like really noteworthy. Like.
Yeah.
I try not to send you just stupid BS.
That's why I check it. Because the second you do, I'm going to stop checking.
That's what I have guys like John, who's in the chat right now, for. I send him that stupid shit, and he sends it back.
I'm like, man, it's the second he send me something not value, I'm going to stop checking that shit forever. Forever.
Still checking it.
Still checking it. Still checking. You on a good little streak. But, man, I know you brought it up last show.
Mm-hmm.
About the whole Gina Carano thing or Carano.
The Corona where?
Oh God. And I wasn't really sure if I wanted to talk about that. But at the same time, it's developing. It's a developing story. And there's a lot going on with that. And it's become something I think we have to talk about. Partly because of the space that we're in, what we do.
Absolutely.
And so I think it's only right that we touch on it, you know, and I've had a few of our listeners even tell me like, or ask like, hey, are you guys going to talk about that? And, you know, I try to be careful what we talk about, you know, like I think we have been on a roll of talking about like just kind of good, fun topics.
Mm-hmm.
Important topics are necessary and important, but at the same time, I feel like this one kind of touches everybody, you know, especially us that consume things from Disney and Lucasfilm, because this has the potential to, you know, for things to happen, to blow up. This is far from done.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
This might be a can of worms is kind of opening up, and that's kind of interesting. That is kind of a thing. What are your early thoughts on it? Like you heard this was happening or had happened, and you know, I mean, I know you got to energy. We'll talk about that in a bit, but just the news that she got fired. What did you think?
Off the bat, I mean, I feel like Disney doesn't play around.
Okay.
Like they don't just let things slide usually. I feel like if they fired somebody, like there's a very good reason behind it. I feel like.
Okay.
Like I didn't feel like they were like a prejudiced kind of company, but I also know the way that they're reacting to COVID and how like I think what's his name, Bob Iger, has made it pretty known that he's not exactly the biggest Trump supporter. So you kind of know which way he leans a little bit. Doesn't necessarily mean the whole company leans that way, but he is the face of the company.
You don't think Bob Iger is smart enough to not involve his personal politics into stuff like that?
I think he's smart enough to know that the people that are consuming his work are probably more left than they are right. And I don't think that if he is right, I don't think that he's making it super known.
I think it's a really wild assumption.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, how the fuck do I know?
Right. Like how do you know, right? Like you have, millions upon millions of
viewers,
consumers. We're not even just talking about Disney Plus.
Oh, yeah.
Consumers of Disney.
100%.
Right? Like you could fucking start another planet with how many consumers they have. So I don't know, man. For me, this we can go down so many angles of this. Okay, so I wasn't following this extra closely. I knew certain things happened, and I actually found some of it funny, to be honest with you. And I know I'm getting ready to probably piss somebody off. It might not be our specific listenership, but I know at some point someone is going to come across this podcast and they're going to be pissed at what I have to say. They're not going to like it because I feel there's a lot of layers, and I'll start from a business perspective. For a business perspective, she got what was coming.
Absolutely.
Because Ben Shapiro is working off the fact that not only is this person a conservative Republican that got fired, they are spinning the fact, they go, this is because Disney, Lucasfilm, whoever you want to blame, or both, don't like conservative Republicans. That's how they're spinning it.
That's definitely the angle they're going for.
Yeah. And so they get to, he's starting his entertainment division. And so this is and he admitted to it. This is something that's going to help him in his brand. He admitted to it. So kudos to that. But when you work for a company that is in the public sector and you are a public entity, you have to be careful what you say and do based on the perception your company wants to put out. You could agree or disagree with that, right? Disney does not feel like they want to have that fight of fighting, of having to defend people in that manner. That's where they're at, right? They want to champion whatever they want to champion, however you want to spin that, and their message, from what I can understand, was, hey, stop responding to these people on Twitter. Hey, slapping you on the wrist again. Don't do that. Let this go. Stop posting things where people are going to take it weirdly. I don't care if you're right or wrong. Stop posting that shit. And she did it again. And she did it again. Right? And so they finally go, look, regardless if you like these people, you call them weird, whether you think that they're aggressive or pushy about, pronouns and whatever the hell else, we don't want that conversation. That's not who we are as a company. We don't want that conversation. So you keep bringing this conversation to our brand, we're just going to let you go. Right? And to me, they're not wrong for that. Now, who they should be backing or what, that's a whole nother discussion. Right? But I don't like that people are telling people what to do. right? Like if you are personally offended and unhappy the way Disney did business and you want to not support Disney Plus, unsubscribe.
Mm-hmm.
Don't consume Disney. I know you're going to. There are very few people who are going to really actually buckle down and go, I'm not paying for another Disney thing again.
Yeah.
Very few people. When I get to that point, I will unsubscribe. I'm not there.
Mm-hmm.
I still have my Disney Plus membership. It's going to stay there. My kids enjoy their content. I do too. I am watching closely. I don't like what I'm seeing, but I'm also not going to be the same thing that we're accusing other people of being, which is super overly responsive. That's where I'm at with this. You know, I don't think I would have liked Gina Carano to continue to do work there at Disney, but you know, good on her, man. She decided this is where I stand. I need to talk about this in a certain kind of way, and I'm gonna do that. You know, she calls it being bullied by the company and the people who are telling her to do stuff. Now now with the people that are telling her like you need to put your pronouns in your description, I mean, honestly, those people can go eat something sour. It's weird to me, you know. Like, don't tell people what to put on their profile. That's why it's your profile. You do what you want. You know, there's this agenda of pushing on to people and saying this is the thing you should do. I'm never putting pronouns on my bio in anything. You can take that to the bank. Because I'm comfortable with people addressing me as a man, which is what they're going to see, what they perceive when they see my face. So you can make that educated guess that I'm a man. If it's important to you that you establish something else, then you do that for you, and that's perfectly fine. I feel no funny way about that. But don't pretend that I need to so-called make you comfortable by putting my pronouns there. You can't push that on me or anyone else. And so that's what she was saying, and she got so tired of it because it was ridiculous. She put beep, bop, boop, the sounds of R2-D2. And someone said, now you're being insensitive. You're being mean. We're going to, you know. But see, you have to know as someone who is on a famous show, a rising star, that you're being baited into that situation. So that's on you, Gina, for that. That's on you. And you survived that, right? Disney spoke to you. They said, hey, like we want you to be a little more conscious about your decisions. You know, whether they're pushing that agenda, I don't know. They probably are. You know, again, that's a whole nother conversation, whether you want to support that or not. But I'm just talking about self-control, you know. But again, if this is the stance Gina wants to have, I applaud her for it because you know what? Honestly, me personally, I only speak for you. I don't speak for myself. I don't speak for Edgar. You know, I'm more, my morals lean probably closer to hers. Probably. Just from the stuff that she's saying. But my money, my success is more important to me. You're not going to bait me into that. I can say what I'm saying now because I'm nobody. You know? That's my early feelings on it. You know, I mean, I don't know how deep into the weeds you want to get, but that's definitely where I'm at.
Well, I mean, for me, I just don't care. Like, I could care less what she feels about it, you know? Like, I don't follow a lot of celebrities on Instagram or when I was using my Facebook more frequently. I don't follow them because I don't really care what they have to say. Like, I follow you because I like your work, and maybe you're going to give me a little tidbit of some behind the scenes kind of thing,
content.
Or, you know, yeah, just like give me some sort of, I don't know, anything.
Okay.
It helps to know when somebody's like a good hearted person. When I see like celebrities that they do like their community outreach kind of work.
Sure.
Go to children's hospitals, things like that. That's always nice to see.
Yep.
But your personal beliefs, like, I guess I feel the same way about them as I would view their personal beliefs the same way I would think somebody would view my personal beliefs, and hope that they just don't give a shit. Like you see the kind of character that I am, the kind of person that I am, and maybe that's when it matters when you want to be friends.
Okay.
But I don't idolize you. I don't think that we could get along one day or anything like that. Like I have zero intent to, become BFFs. Do you. I'll do me. And if we click, cool. Like we'll be fine. But if not, then no harm, no foul. Like I don't hate you. In regards to like honestly, when this happened, that's what made me go back and research what she had done in the past. Because the past stuff I really didn't pay attention to. That beep bop boop thing. I had no idea the pronoun thing was a thing.
It's supposedly a real thing. I've encountered it once.
So for anybody that's like curious as to what they mean, what this all means, if you ever go on Twitter, I wouldn't even be able to tell you who to look up. But apparently, when you go on some people's profiles, underneath their biographies, where they say, "Hi, my name is Edgar Arredondo, and I'm blah 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 blah. I'm one half of Wukai podcast or whatever. I host a podcast, and period. And then at the end, in like quotation mark, non quotations, in caption marks, you put like he, him, like to represent the fact that I want to be addressed as a he or a him, because somebody that's transgender could look like one thing and want to be addressed in another thing.
Listen, we're all over the place with that. I've seen people that say, I want to go by they or them.
Yeah.
Whatever. And I'm not here to make fun about people that want that. Like, whatever. Right?
But that's what this whole thing was about the first time, I guess.
Right.
And I guess it was a big deal. I didn't really know too much about it, I guess.
Yeah.
I didn't pay attention to it. And Mandalorian kept going, so life moved on.
So I have a colleague in the voiceover industry who she hit me with this, or not just me personally, I shouldn't say that. She hit the community with this. And she literally said, we should do this. We should do it on name tags. We should make people do it at school, to make those people who feel they need to establish their pronouns, make them comfortable. And I didn't say it then, like out loud then. I think I spoke to her privately, and I was like, I don't think that's my place. It's not my place to make you feel comfortable in that way, right? Like, I might not feel comfortable walking into a room because I'm the only black person in the room, or I'm the only person, at my height or my weight or whatever, right? Like, that's my bag to deal with. I need to establish myself and get to a place of comfort without people doing things to make it worse, right? No one should be spouting hate at you, right? Because you decide you're a man, you want to wear a dress or a weird hat, or you're a woman and you want to dress a certain way or dye your hair a certain way or whatever, right? And honestly, if I'm getting to know you and I'm not interacting with you, I don't need to know about your sexuality. So this is not about that, right? Like, that's not even what Gina is saying. She's saying, stop trying to make me conform to your standards just because that's what you want, right? Like, this is not a part of human decency. That's not what we're talking about here. We're talking about people that want to switch the narrative and they want to attack a celebrity, and she went for the okie doke. She went for it, and so she paid the price eventually. But you know what? In a way, she said it. She kind of knew what she was doing. And she felt Disney wasn't being supportive, and she feels like this is, I'm not here to speak on if this is an agenda by Disney, because I don't know. I don't work there. I don't know anybody there. And that's where this podcast is different, because we're not going to speculate on that. We don't know. But what we do know is we know what tweets she sent. We can look those up. We now have this interview on Sunday, which was pretty interesting.
Yeah.
But even then, it's still not, for me, Edgar, I don't know how you felt about it, but even me, when I saw this Ben Shapiro interview, it was somewhat honest, but it wasn't truly genuine.
Yeah, I didn't feel like it.
There was an agenda there.
Yeah.
Right or wrong or indifferent. Some people are completely driven by politics. Ben Shapiro is driven by politics.
100%.
And like, he sometimes says things that I'm like, okay. But a lot of times he says stuff that I'm like, you know what you're talking about. I've heard him talk about poverty in urban communities, and he's got certain takes on it. Not that he's not entitled to his opinion, but I'm like, you have no fucking clue what you're talking about.
Yeah.
You know? And he said this on the Joe Rogan show, and even Joe Rogan was like, no, that's not it. And I think what stood out for me is I think there's a big, we got to get out of the habit of drawing comparisons when we want to make a point. We got to get out of the habit of talking about things that we don't know because we think common sense is applied in a certain scenario. Yeah. Right? Like, you do not know what's going on in urban communities. If you're a white man who is in a suburb and you've never been to the inner city and you have no business there, and the only time you even pass by is if you're going to a better populated place like Hollywood or something like that, don't speak on the happenings of like LA. Because you don't know. Right? Like, you're not helping the cause. Right? And we do a lot of that, right? So like Ben Shapiro has a take on what's happening with that. Like, if you're not on the forefront of that, don't speak on it.
Yeah.
You know, if you have good ideas, maybe, we could hear those, but don't speak like you know how that works and how that goes and all that, because you don't know. It's just kind of where I'm at with it, right? But, you know, Gina's also made these mistakes, right? Where she's like, she drew maybe not a comparison, but tried to draw parallels with what happened to Jewish people, you know, in those times of Hitler and all that. And people took it to the max, right? Like, you're trying to say that what's happening with Republicans is the same thing with
it's just a dumb thing to say, though. Like, why? I don't know.
But we do that. So many people do that. You know, like, again, you know, the you know, certain communities, they like to go, oh, this is our civil rights movement, just like, you know, what happened with black people. Like, no, you have your own thing happening. Mm-hmm. It's not any more or any less important. But when you try to draw comparisons, you're asking for conflict. And I get what she was trying to say.
Yeah, so do I.
I totally get what she was simply trying to say, hey, how we got to this bad place, this feels like how the beginnings of how we got to that bad place.
Yeah.
Let's not do this again. Let's let not history repeat itself. But people can't think outside of that, right? And so they drew whatever comparisons they wanted, and she was already in hot water. You got a lot of Jewish people at Disney, you know, a lot of people that want to say that they're offended by stuff. You know, Ben Shapiro himself is Jewish. He understood what she was trying to say. And he said, you need to be careful with your comparisons.
Yeah.
But you just do. And like, I think we just do better if you don't do that.
Or just don't go on social media.
I mean, but she wants to use it as a platform, right?
She said it herself. This last election was the first time that she's ever voted. Mm-hmm. Which means that she was not really paying attention to politics before this.
Yeah.
Which is fine. You know, anybody out there that has voted for the first time this year, mm-hmm. like, this was a very monumental year for you to be voting.
Absolutely.
And the numbers proved, if, you know, true or not, whatever, that a lot of first-time voters were out there, or people that just hadn't voted in a very long time either. God, like, I guess, like, when you find your voice when it comes to politics and how strongly you believe in them, or mm-hmm. whatever you feel like people are doing right or we're doing wrong as a country, it just doesn't, I don't know, using your status to, you know, promote, like, whatever side you're on just doesn't sit right with me. Like, do it, but, like, I don't know, be tactful about it. Don't think about what you're about to say. Mm-hmm. Maybe run it by a few people, see what they think about it. But when she had her first interaction, she said that she had a social media coach.
Sure.
Isn't that coach, like, available at all times? Like, can't we be like, hey, like, I feel like posting this. Maybe you tell me what you think.
Right.
Like, what, isn't somebody there to, like, I mean, I feel like Donald Trump tweeting again.
I feel like you can't always be genuine when you have to go through some kind of coach or something, right? But the problem,
when you've also gotten in trouble before, probably a good idea.
Right, but that's if your career in that or your job, your current job, is that important to you. She made a different choice,
She did.
and she's aware of that choice, which is why I kind of respect her.
Which is why I kind of don't miss her, like on The Mandalorian. She
Yeah.
obviously wasn't like so into the role that she wanted to like be careful and make sure she didn't lose her job.
Right. So John says, I think free speech is under attack by corporations. They're afraid of the woke mob and losing money.
Mhm.
I think you're right.
Yeah.
I think you're right. But here's the thing, John, like I was saying earlier, Disney is a business, right? They have countless people of every walk of life coming through their doors. It's on them as a company to decide what causes they want to support, address, not address. You know, I mean, should I feel some way about Disney because Disney wasn't sending representatives or doing movies or making statements about the treatment of black people, back in the early 90s when Rodney King was being beat in the streets and things were happening? Or should I just understand that at that time, that was not something that they chose to get involved with as a company? And we can argue all day about what companies should and should not do, but as a business owner, you have to pick, right? Me and Edgar, we make choices for our brand every day. So even as simple as what subjects we talk about, when we talk about them, if we talk about them, how we talk about them. And that's a brand choice. That's a company choice. So Disney's doing the same thing on higher levels.
Oh yeah, they have to be way more careful about it than we do. I mean, I thank every one of you for listening, but you guys are nothing compared to the Disney army.
Right? I mean, there's so many different entities out there that, I don't know, the world's crazy. And maybe it's always been this way, and the invention of social media is just making it look like it's more than it used to be. I don't know. And then obviously being at the ages we are, being younger, maybe we didn't see it, but it's like I heard this morning there was, how the Mortal Kombat trailer came out this past, what was it, Friday, right? There's a publication that I guess their whole thing is they've got a feminist agenda and they like to just kind of really kick up shit sometimes. Mm-hmm. So they ended up saying, hey, what's going on? Like, why is Chun-Li not in this movie? Making a big deal. Like, oh, Chun-Li, you would think that one of the best fighters, Chun-Li, would be in this movie or whatever. And then it came to light that, like, oh, hey, like, Chun-Li's not a Mortal Kombat character, And then they go, haha, we were just kidding, blah, blah, whatever. And you could just tell the way it got played off that they were not kidding. They actually thought they had an angle, and it was going to be this whole, like, woman thing or whatever. And it was really like they just were all wrong. It's when we have media like that, and where anybody can go spend a couple $1,000s and go turn on a microphone or write a blog or whatever and just kind of get on the internet. And we're so consumed by clickbait, right? The things we click on, we just kind of go, all right, well, this is what we're doing. And people go, oh, what is that? What is that? And it's really nothing. And you have to be cognizant of that, right? Like if you're Gina Carano, you have to be cognizant of that. People are going to bait you.
You're a freaking superstar. Like, I don't understand how you just don't be more careful. Mm-hmm. If you truly, and then she said, like, not to undermine whatever, the other people that work on the show because they're all hard workers and stuff. Mm-hmm. Like, then do it for them. Like, you're going to get this show canceled because of you wanting to be the voice of like truth or whatever. Like, you want to express your opinions and, like, that's cool, but wait until the show is over or something. I don't know. Like, if you truly care about it. That's why I think that Disney made the right choice by firing her. Mm-hmm. Because if they didn't, Mandalorian might be in trouble. I mean, you never know who's gonna try to like really get that show canceled because Disney supports somebody that draws comparisons between Jews and Republicans or whatever.
Right. Right. I mean, these companies, they always usually try to take the safe bet.
Yeah.
Right? Like they support things that they know they're going to get a majority of people saying, yeah, we like that.
Yeah.
Right? If they have to take a hard stance the other way, they're not going to do it because they're going to lose their base.
Yep.
And that's the thing. Right now, I guess it's not popular to be conservative. Right? Like,
you guess?
I'm only going to speak on it so much, right? Like, I'm not a political guy.
Neither am I, but I don't know. It's out there. It's pretty obvious
Right.
that, Republicans really are frowned upon right now.
Wow.
That in no way, shape, or form means that Ra and I look down on Republicans. That's just the general population right now.
Right.
I think it's finally dying down, but that's why, like, I think it was just a bad business move on her part to try to, like, fight back or whatever whatever you want to call what she was trying to do.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't a smart move. Like,
it's so stupid how things are overly political. We're talking
100%.
about we're talking about an entertainment company with stars from a fucking TV show, a fictional TV show, and we're talking about real world politics being a factor about someone being on the show. And like you said, like, but here's the thing. Here's the thing about her, and why I really feel bad for her. It sounds like she had some sort of awakening, right?
Mm-hmm.
She decided, like politics are important.
Yep.
Right? I'm gonna assume like she's like somewhere in her 30s. Right? I have no idea how old Gina Carano is, but
she's probably in her 30s. I'll look it up real quick.
Yeah, and so I don't know. She decided that this was important to her, and she's in the middle. Think about the last time you got into something and you felt like, man, this is really important. I really need to share my knowledge or share my journey. Right?
So she's older than I thought. She's 38.
Oh, so she's up my age. Okay. So
okay.
Hey, Gina.
Take off your stupid hat.
Hey, if she can't accept the hat, I can't accept her politics. Man, but
I didn't mean to throw you off your train of thought.
you
Sorry.
did throw me off. You really did, bro. You really did. I don't even know where I'm going now. What was I saying, man?
I don't know. Hit rewind.
What was I? She kind of just, she was in the middle. She was saying, "It's the first time I voted." So she was really feeling herself and feeling how, this is important. I need to share this journey, kind of like how me and you, we found this podcast and we're trying to share it with everybody, right? Except there's no political divisiveness with our podcast.
Yeah.
So, she feels a certain kind of way, and she was trying to, I guess just share that love, and it's not the popular opinion. Her company asked her several times, like, hey, and like, this is the reason why they tell you at your job, don't talk politics, right?
Yep.
Politics and religion are kind of off the books. So all people, because that gets crazy.
Politics, religion, and sex. Those
right.
Are the 3
so
no-goes.
Yeah. So keep it chill. And if you happen to click outside of work, you can do what you want.
Mm-hmm.
But here we need to make the maximum amount of people comfortable. And that's the same approach. Right?
She's not a big enough name to do that kind of shit yet.
I mean, I don't know if you could ever do that kind of shit if it's the wrong shit.
Yeah.
If it's the wrong shit, like, because you're going to always damage the product, right? This is why, like, they always got to spend. This is why Disney and these other companies, they've got these experts, these social media experts. Who, she said somebody came over to the house and he was like, look, what you did was you gave a logical reaction to something emotional, and you need to reply with something emotional. Yeah. And I was like, I'm glad it wasn't me. I'd have been like, get the fuck out. Get the fuck out. Like, that's the most biggest crock of shit I've ever heard.
You also aren't a star on the Mandalorian TV show with Disney, though.
And this is probably why I'll never get there.
And that's where I would have been like, have a seat, sir. Would you like some coffee?
Nah, man.
Some tequila?
I'm with her on that one. I'm like, well, I gave a logical response. Like, have a brain, But
You're
that's
also under the radar, though. You're also being watched very carefully now.
Yeah.
The company's waiting for your response. Like,
Yeah.
this isn't like you can't just submit your thing. That's why she had to go to the coach.
Yeah.
I mean, that it all, I don't know, man. Like, it all stems back for me. Like, this was, I'm happy that she's been picked up by this Daily Wire thing. I don't really know what the Daily Wire is, I guess. Like, I think they're just like a news outlet that's kind of turning into like a
They are a political
multimedia
news outlet that Ben Shapiro decided he also wants to dabble in movies.
Yeah.
He does have a movie called something Run. It was I think it was like some movie about what to do if like there's a school shooting or something like that, and it's kind of like it's a very gory action sort of thing from what I'm told. I've never seen it, but I heard it was pretty bad. But you gotta start somewhere.
So a funny kind of side story. I totally didn't. I've never really watched Ben Shapiro. I've always ever heard him like through podcasts and stuff. I had no idea that he wears the yarmulke all the time.
Yeah.
I totally thought that was for show when I watched the interview.
Yeah, he for real wears the yarmulke.
I was like, no,
he's all in on his Jewishness
during this interview. Like, like they're really trying to like make her look like she's like not that bad of a person or whatever. Like,
sure.
Then I realized that he actually wears the yarmulke all the time.
Yeah, he is for real about his Jewishness. I mean, I don't think I've ever heard a show with him and he didn't say something about him being Jewish. I don't listen to him all the time, but if he's on Joe Rogan, I catch it.
He's a little too aggressive for me.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm he is who he is. But.
Yeah, it's cool. Like, I guess he had a decent interview, but I thought the interview could have been a little better.
Yeah,
I think he could have hit a little harder questions. The way that he was asking them were kind of softball throws.
Sure.
But I don't think that I don't think that she like throughout the interview was being. It felt very kind of scripted.
Sure.
Like she got the questions before the interview, and she kind of worked on them. Yeah. And you can kind of see like her. I could see her write all of her answers down, read them through like 10 times before the interview, and then kind of she's like, I don't want to memorize it because I don't want it to sound scripted, so I'm gonna like try to remember what I said, but like word it differently, Like that's just kind of how I felt when I heard the interview, and that's what concerns me is like. That,
but that's what Hollywood is, though. It's so prepped.
It is, but I don't know. Maybe she's just not that great of an actress. Then,
I mean, she's not. She's not. I mean, she's good for action Mandalorian and what she was doing, but she is no thespian. And that's not a slight at her. It's just you got to start somewhere, right? Like, she's
like honest opinion, when the Mandalorian season comes out, you gonna miss her?
Okay, so we see you, Piyush. I'm gonna get to you in a minute, but
what's up, Piyush?
I think a lot of people are overly emotional. So people are saying, Cara Dune is Gina Carano. It's like how Luke Skywalker is Mark Hamill, and all that. It's this is a new character. I understand why Jon Favreau would have a problem because that was his vision and it was with her. And so I know how it's hard for him, especially because he's in the middle of producing season 3. And now he's got to, figure that out. But
that there was a backup plan.
I don't think so. I don't think so. I think he got forced into a corner because I heard he is heated. Like he's already threatened to quit, He took the angle of like, look, let's just ride this out. That was his angle. Like, let's just ride this out. And they were like, no, because apparently her and Kathleen Kennedy don't get along.
Oh.
And then, she's got, some issues with, I guess, a few people there. But you asked me if I feel like I'm going to miss her. Not necessarily, because I feel I trust in what they're doing, the creatives are doing. So I know if they need to write her out or give I already know what they're going to do. They're going to say she's off doing her sheriff shit and it's taking her, to that side of the world and she's not available. Hoping that maybe in a year or 2, 3 years, it'll smooth over. She can come back. Everyone's forgiven Everyone's forgot about it. You know, because honestly, we're stupid. We're stupid, right? Like we see people do dumb shit. We see, you know, celebrities do dumb shit, deplorable shit, and we go right back to them. R. Kelly was touching little girls forever.
And his career kind of ended.
He was still selling records.
I mean,
like people didn't even get mad until we saw him on video peeing on a 15-year-old girl. And even then people were like, but her aunt said it was okay and she wanted it, and it was like,
maybe it was
he wasn't as big as he was, but he was still around. Then he was touring, and a couple years later, he was doing other albums. He's got albums past that. Then we found out he was like holding some of these women captive and all this crazy shit, and people still bought his shit. Like, yeah, now his career's already effectively over, but now he's a man in his 50s also.
I don't think it's fair to say that we're stupid. I think it's just fair to say there's some stupid people out there.
Okay. There's that, you know? Like there's so many examples of this, and I don't want to bring them all up because I'm not here to drag people through the mud, but, you know, they know, right? Like just this past year and a half ago, Ezra Miller choked some girl out on camera, right? He choked her out. It's on camera. Like just literally like took her by the throat and she went down, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you know what WB's response to that was? Nothing.
Yeah.
Ezra Miller's not doing anything right now because they're trying to figure out Justice League and all that out. So we won't really see his face for the next year or so. So we just not gonna say nothing. But Johnny Depp got into some shit with Amber Heard, and I shouldn't have said that because YouTube's gonna kill us. But we're not monetized, so it's fine. Got into some shit with Amber Heard, and we found out that a lot of what happened isn't right with Amber Heard. Like the little court case she won in the UK they found out to be like she had the ends with the judge and all this sort of stuff, right? But because Fantastic Beasts was getting ready to, you know, start filming or production, and he was working on another project, can't remember what it was, they were like, hey, Johnny Depp, you gotta go away. You see what I'm saying? So it's gonna affect our bottom line right now. So now we're gonna take action. Right? If Mandalorian was going to be on hiatus for 2 or 3 years, Disney wouldn't have did shit. Because that'd have been like, she's off in the distance. It'll go away. Hey, Gina, shut the fuck up and get this money. Right? That's what would have happened. But because everything is cooking, money's being spent, they're like, we can't have this. Right? That's more about what it's about. Like, people want to turn it political, but that's not what this is. And that's just my spin on it. But let's get back to Hugh's comment. Let's see here. I think everyone deserves a voice to say what they want to say, but as a corporation, you also have a choice if you want to associate with that voice. Exactly. Exactly. You know, I used to work at Pepsi, and Pepsi had this rule. They didn't want us to really wear shorts and tennis shoes, right? And so the tennis shoes, because they wanted, you know, steel toe boots, whatever. The shorts, I mean, they were trying to get us, they said, okay, we could wear shorts, but they were giving us these 1980s kind of shorts, like they were short, right? And we were all like, nah, man, like, you know, this is the early 2000s, like, people don't wear these kind of shorts no more. Don't make us wear these.
Wear short pants.
Yeah. And so, you know, it was just what it was. And, you know, and so like we kind of showed them different styles of Dickie shorts or whatever. And it went on for a while. It went on for like the whole first year I was there, you know, and we didn't like it. And so you couldn't wear it because for them, they're like, we just don't want that look for our business. And we were trying to be like, man, but this is what's comfortable for us, blah, blah. We out there in the field. You guys are in here in the office. And they're like, no, this is not what when someone sees somebody from Pepsi, this is not what we want them to see. It's not about right or wrong. It's about it's their company, right? Like, you have to realize companies make these decisions every day. When you see the Los Angeles Lakers, the purple and gold, all the way down to the players that they have playing for them. Hey, if you're not representing us properly, you can't be here, right? You don't show up to play for the Lakers and put on a green jersey, right? Because that's not what they wear. So you got to be aware of that. You have to. It's just kind of how it works. Ahmed, freedom of speech does not necessarily mean freedom from consequence of your speech. It never means that.
No, this is true.
It never means that. You have to accept the consequences of your speech, and the fact that as much as you have the freedom to say what you want to say, other people have the freedom to not want to deal with you.
And where's that, like, where do we draw the line on, like, if she has a good character or not? Because if she felt so strongly in her beliefs and she felt like she was being shunned by Disney, or she felt like Disney was treating her unfairly, why didn't she walk away?
Money. She's being paid. It's her employer. It's the same reason you and I show up to work every day.
Is that not some form of greed in that sense? Like, is that, I mean, for me, that would be all about the character. Like, if she felt that way and she was being harassed or whatever, and she felt like Disney didn't have her back, like, why wouldn't she use that to leave and then go work somewhere else? I mean, she's worked with Universal, through the Fast and Furious movies. Like, other companies are out there. I'm sure her being on The Mandalorian wouldn't have been a bad move. I think it would have looked better than her getting fired by Disney.
Because I mean, she's not as stupid, right? Like, you don't walk away from a job like that. Like, that job practically changes your life. Right? And she really gave up a lot for her principles, right? And I'm not talking about right or wrong. Like, they were going to give her a spinoff show. She was a popular character. I mean, you don't have to be a fucking thespian to be a big star at Disney, right? Like, Mark Hamill shows us that. I know. It's sacrilegious to talk shit about Mark Hamill.
He's a shitty actor. It's fine.
He's not a good actor, guys. He's a great voice actor.
Yeah.
But he's not a good actor. But, I mean, he had a classic role that carried him for over 40 years. Over 40 years.
It helps that he was the Joker too,
Yeah, I mean, yeah, he made his money doing other stuff, but I mean, you get to celebrate one character for over 40 years. That's what she was looking at. Multiple movies, multiple appearances, her likeliness, on action figures and toys, and
forever remembered.
Yeah, and being paid for all that stuff, one way or the other. So I wouldn't have bowed out either necessarily. And because they fired her, there might be clauses to that. They still have to probably pay her of, certain things, maybe, I don't know. But, I know when you quit, a lot of times you give up, things that you would have gotten. And on top of that, she'd be able now to say that, hey, they wronged me. I tried to hang in there and they didn't support me and they let me go, versus I walked away. So, I mean, that's my answer to that, I think, but I don't know. But I notice both of us, like, we keep going back and forth. We say Lucasfilm, we say Disney. Lucasfilm is the actual company that is doing The Mandalorian, right, through the umbrella of Disney.
Sure.
But are we holding them both accountable? Do you see a difference? How do you feel about that? Because we don't really know, right? Did Lucasfilm actually fire her and Disney said okay? Or are they involved? Or is Disney saying...
They must need approval. They must need approval. I mean, I don't think Lucasfilm
Do they? Or, I mean, it is Disney, but is Lucasfilm kind of somewhat separate? And like, okay, that's what you guys are doing.
Well, I want to know what's on the header of her paychecks. Lucasfilm or Disney? Then they're the ones that they need to get approval from.
I don't know.
I don't know. I hold them both accountable.
It could
for
be both.
I mean, I think they're both behind it. Disney owns Lucasfilm. Like, I'm sorry, but like that it all travels up to the top, So in my opinion, she got fired by Disney.
I mean, if you work for Pizza Hut and you get fired, Pepsi didn't fire you.
Yeah, it's true.
Pepsi's the parent company.
Yeah, that location fired you or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, I guess my point is, can people see? Can they split the difference on it? Right? Like, can you go like, oh, that's Lucasfilm, that's the movie division. I'm still cool with Disney. I still like their stuff, and they see it differently, or do they care? Like, how many people actually care?
That's the thing. Like, I don't know. Are there a lot of people boycotting Disney right now?
I mean, there's like this mass thing going around of people telling people to cancel their Disney Plus accounts and all that. The usual shit.
I just don't care.
The usual shit. But it's kind of funny because, like, you shouldn't tell people, what to do with their gender and all this stuff. But, we should tell people, like, what they should consume.
Yeah.
It's like, if you're mad at Disney, then do this. And it's kind of like, no, I will decide how I will react with Disney. The fuck? I don't know.
I just don't care enough. I don't know. I really don't care enough.
But that's how we got here, right? Because, I know you were saying the reason why you follow celebrities and stuff. But
I'm trying to think of like celebrities that I follow. Like, I'd rather follow like a news outlet that will report on celebrity news than follow individual celebrities to like, because half the shit they post is just like, hey, check out this new movie that just came out that I'm promoting, or check out my new song that I'm on, whatever, with whoever. I just I don't care enough anymore. After the social dilemma, like I'm telling you, I just have cared so little about social media.
I mean, I don't know, man. I'm trying to figure out where the line is for a lot of people, because my line is different than a lot of other people, just personally. Like I don't know. I consume things in a certain way, and I really don't care. Like, and I think that's how we got here. There's so much stuff about, so and so's marrying this person, so and so broke up with this person, they're dating, and that sort of stuff, and what's going on there. I really don't care.
Yeah.
I really don't care. I don't care what car you drive. I don't care how big your house is. And I felt like just over the years, this overconsumption of like what every celebrity is doing or thinking. I really don't even care about your politics. Like people used to throw that in my face, right? Like Tom Brady is a Trump supporter. I'm like, I don't give two fucks.
Yeah.
I like the way the man throws a football. Right? Like, that's why I watch him. I'm sure there's a lot of celebrities that have certain personal things in their lives that you probably wouldn't agree with. We just found out Armie Hammer likes to, taste people.
I don't even know what that means. I don't know who that is or what that means.
Armie Hammer, man, look that up. I'm not even going.
I'd rather not. I don't know what that is. Yeah. Oh, now you don't want to spoil things.
No, I don't want to spoil things.
Thanks, by the way, for I met Mom.
Oh, I'm like, you spoke to my mom before. What do you mean?
No, man.
No, my mom.
God, I hate you so much. 100% ruined that moment for me.
I did not. I did not.
I knew it.
You ruined it.
I freaking knew it.
Hey, on the record, you ruined it. You ruined it.
No.
I just asked you if you met Mom.
Let's move on.
Did we hear from Amit? Oh yeah, we did.
Yeah, we did.
Are the Lakers living rent free in your head? I don't even know what you mean by that. I'm not even gonna answer that.
The answer is yes.
Why? Well, I gotta be yes. That's all I'm saying. Y'all leave me alone, man. Today is not pick on Rod Day. We're talking about Gina Carano. What's wrong with y'all?
I personally will not be missing Gina from the show. I
mean,
she's great. She's a great. She was a great fighter. I followed her through her UFC career. All like 10 fights that she had. I feel like. I thought she was phenomenal in the first Fast and Furious appearance that she made.
She was in Fast and Furious?
Yeah, I think it was the Fate of the Furious or something. I can't remember. No, it was like Fast 5 or something like that.
Honestly,
I think it was the first one that The Rock was in.
Honestly, I didn't know a single thing about Gina Carano until The Mandalorian.
Yeah.
Not gonna lie. She was not on my radar.
She was cool. She was fun to watch on UFC because she was like the first woman, like, she was the Ronda Rousey of before Ronda Rousey, like she was like the hype girl. She was the one that put like asses in the seats. I feel like she was more popular than most male fighters at the time. So it's really cool to see her career progress.
Mm-hmm.
And I do hope that this transition to this Daily Wire project that she's going to be working on
Mm-hmm.
is going to be like another step up
Yeah.
and not a step sideways,
Yeah.
I guess. I hope it's not a step back. I don't think it's going to be a step back. But I am concerned that by taking on this Daily Wire project, if that's going to like...
It's going to suck.
It's going to end up...
It's going to suck.
Well, I'm just wondering if it's going to put her like on some sort of blacklist from other companies to hire her after that.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
So
at least for a little while.
Maybe we'll
at least for a little
see
while.
her hosting on like some...
Again, they're going to spin it with Hollywood, right? And again, I'm on the very, 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 very low levels of Hollywood, okay? So I don't know shit.
So you're saying there's a chance.
But I'm pretty sure, whether it's because of politics or whatever, again, this was all public. And she's airing laundry out to some degree.
Yes.
Who's going to want to deal with her right now?
No, nobody.
Why would you, right? Why would you?
And you can't tell me that Ben Shapiro hasn't laid down like a, hey, you can't talk about anything on Twitter. Like, maybe don't talk about this.
He's going to let her spew whatever Republican conservative messages she want to spew, because that's his angle.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying, right? Like, he just got a big Star Wars star, right? And then there's a couple other people who feel like them who eventually probably will come, but they don't have that movie magic, right? Mm-hmm. Maybe they'll develop it over the time, whatever, but I'm pretty sure her projects are going to be B and C level projects in terms of like as good as they're going to be, right? Even if the production value is decent, it's going to be it's not going to be polished.
You're going to see her on some Netflix original, Hulu original, Prime original.
I can't even say it's the old Netflix original stuff. Not current, because currently they do it good. But
yeah, right now they got Adam Sandler and
the old school stuff. So, I think you just gotta kind of wait and see what happens with her, and maybe eventually she'll work her way in. But right now, if you're on this tip, and like I said, you got to see it both ways, right? Like, you don't want people pushing their belief systems on you. And I know she wasn't really meaning to be overly political, but I also think that this is so new for her that she doesn't know how to rein herself in, right? It's like anytime you find something important in life, you're like, this is all me, right? This is all I know and talk about. This is what I breathe, whatever. And so that's what she's doing right now. She's got somebody as vocal as Ben Shapiro putting her out there. She's embracing that. And I don't knock her for that, but you got to realize that you're disassociating some people who don't feel the way that you do. The same way that you feel when people are telling you what to do with your pronouns and all this stuff and whatever. And like the whole Jewish thing, look, she made a mistake by comparison. That was the only sin that occurred there. The
sin was that she posted again, like something political, like.
Yeah, but that's her own personal sin, though. That's a little different.
Stop.
Yeah, but see, because you're looking at it from like you would value being a part of Disney.
Yeah, 100%.
See, but that's
who the hell wouldn't?
because you are not in the middle of a mental awakening about your person, about who you are mentally.
Oh man, I don't know, man.
That's her problem. The problem is, Edgar, she told you, she just woke up.
She rehearsed it.
She just woke up. Like this is
she
who
said
she
that when
be.
she went to go meet Jon Favreau for the first time, that she was like starstruck and like, oh my God, I know who you are. Here's a bottle of wine that I brought you, whatever. Like, he's like, you don't know why you're here? Like, we want to put you in one of our TV shows. And she was like,
Disney doesn't fucking tell you why they want you. They say to show up and you go, yes, my Lord and Savior and 100%
agree.
Bob Iger, I'm here.
But like, as soon as, like, if you have that kind of not expectation, like if you have that kind of like excitement for working for a man like Jon Favreau to work on Star Wars, like you're going to take that shit seriously if you care about it.
She did before she had her awakening.
And then she got into trouble again.
Like
she got warned. That's what pisses me off. Like she got warned like multiple times.
Mm-hmm.
And she's trying to play the victim in this.
So
like, I don't know,
here's another big point, and we are all guilty of this, right? Mm-hmm. And it's kind of funny. Like I actually think what people are going to think about this, because this is just what I see, right? So when you think you're right about something maybe even small, you think it's common sense, like common sense for all, right? Like you go, hey, like, I don't know, what's something really dumb I could come up with right now? You don't get in the car, put on a blindfold, and drive and expect nothing bad to happen, right? You're like, I'm going to run into something pretty quickly here, right?
Yeah.
So if you heard somebody did that, if I say, Edgar, my cousin, he got into his car, put a blindfold off and tried to drive down the street and wrecked about like 10 cars.
The hell is wrong with your cousin?
Okay. You see what you just said?
Yeah.
So like you automatically went into like insults and like I don't understand this person. Like this is fucking common sense, right? That's what you're thinking in your mind.
Yeah.
That's how we treat people, even with stuff like this, right? We go, I don't fucking understand you, like, whatever. And we poke fun at people, we lash out, we ridicule, we talk nasty, and then there's this miscommunication. When it comes to what's going on, we have to realize, whether right, wrong, or indifferent, that everyone don't feel like us.
Mm-hmm.
These people with, and I say this with respect, these people with gender identification importance. I was going to say issues, but maybe that's not the right word.
No, definitely not the right word.
It's important to them to identify gender-wise and all this stuff. It's important to them.
Yeah.
And they see it as this needs to happen. And we're like, and I'm talking for you here, Edgar, stop me if I'm not, but we're like, this is elementary. We address my gender before I could say a single word. My gender was established. My parents helped me with that. I'm good.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And so we don't understand their journey. So when they come at us with this stuff, we hang on, this is not right, you're stupid, you're confused, you're whatever it is, however we want to put it. And you know what? Sometimes you got to have just a little bit of compassion. I'm not saying you have to deal with it, whatever, but like, especially when you're a public figure, you got to decide to be careful how you going to deal with it, if any at all.
Mm.
Right? And she found herself, she had a political awakening, and this is one of the issues, and she went all in. And she's like, there's nothing wrong with what I'm doing. I'm fighting for what's right, and Disney should be supporting me.
Mm-hmm.
And she went all in on that narrative, and she's not saying that Disney is like, we are a money-making entity.
Yes.
We are going where the money is. We don't care about right or wrong. That's all this is.
But you see how I didn't care the first time it happened.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't even know what that pronoun thing was.
Mm-hmm.
But then the second time that it happened, it's like, we did not learn from the first time.
No.
If your cousin wore that blindfold the first time, wrecked 10 cars, and then I came at him and said,
you like that
or her, him or her, whatever.
Him or her.
I came up to them and said, what were you thinking? That they might analyze that and go, maybe that wasn't the smartest move, Maybe next time I'll do it and maybe go where there's no cars, or I just won't tell anybody that I'm doing it.
Right.
I mean, I don't know. Like for me, it's just, fool me once, shame on me, or shame on you, or whatever. Or I don't know. Like it's just, it doesn't make sense to me that
it's obvious she didn't care anymore.
Yeah,
it's obvious she didn't care. Her.
I would have respected her more if she walked away, I think.
Instead of dragging her right through this whole.
Yes.
But see, it became important because she then became a soldier for her fight. That's why she couldn't walk away.
I guess I just didn't see, I didn't care enough.
Yeah. I mean,
to pay attention
again, and I think you said it best. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
Right? Like let's be clear. I'm not on Gina Carano's side. I'm not on anybody's side, goddammit. I'm on my side. I'm on the What You Know About It podcast side. That's where I'm at.
Yeah.
But it's just, again, you're looking at it from a different spot than she's looking at it. From what I hear, she comes from a pretty wealthy family. I have no idea. So she probably doesn't have money issues. For a former UFC fighter, she probably doesn't have very much money issues. She made a little bit of change on Disney, whatever. So other things became more important to her, man.
Yeah.
That's just where she's at. You know, she dragged us through it. Inadvertently, probably, you know, but
she's messing with my shows, man.
I just don't like when people try to, again, this whole comparison thing. You know, people are like, well, Disney doesn't want to support you through this, but yet, you know, they brought up some whatever happened with Mulan and where they filmed that and something, and like I don't even know, and I'm like, don't add issues, like that's a whole other thing. Whatever Disney did with China for Mulan, like that's very different from whatever's happening. And I heard that narrative get spent, and I was like,
I feel like we're reaching now.
Yes. Just stop trying to attach stuff. Like, let's deal with this.
People are trying to find like issues. Like they just want to find issues to like dig at.
Yeah, it's like, let's prove Disney is incompetent, right, in every way or whatever. And Disney's Disney. Like does it surprise you that Disney has a social media person to go tackle these things with stars that get in trouble?
It's surprising that they have I think they said like 40 LGBTQ people, like representatives that like are willing to speak to her in regards to that.
Right.
And then to tell, I don't know, that interview upset me too when she was saying like, I feel like I did, like they were like pressuring me into talking to these people or whatever.
And they're like, you have to do this right now. Yeah.
Like, okay, like you said some shit that like you need to clear up. Like tell them that you didn't mean it that way.
Right. But I do agree with her. It kind of seemed like they were trying to like quickly rush her into it so she could be
move.
Emotionally overspent.
Yeah.
So that she just goes with whatever they say, like, oh my God, this is just like way over the top.
Yeah.
You know? And then like they was like, oh no, you got to get on a Skype call. And I would have backed out of that myself. I'd have been like, no.
I think maybe that would have been the angle that they were going for, is to try to fire her for non complying with things like that, you know?
Yeah. I'm like, no. Like I can take them, like she said, let's go to dinner.
Yeah.
You know, I will buy dinner. Let's go talk about it. Let's go meet somewhere or whatever. But like, no, we're not doing that. So you can try to expose me.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like I get where she came from with that, but it does not surprise me. Like I was kind of like, oh, Disney has all these representatives, and then they have like you just said, a faction that just deals with the LBGT. Oh, I'm just gonna mess this up.
LGBTQ.
Okay, LGBTQ community. Again, no disrespect. I just don't know.
Yeah.
But, you know, they have representatives from that, and then they have a special division for trans people.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, and in my head, the first thing I wanted to go to was like, do you have a division for straight people?
Mm.
You know what I mean? Like, are we going there? But I was like, you know what? That thought process isn't even necessary.
Mm-hmm.
Right? It's just not. So I'm like, okay, whatever. If that's what Disney wants to do, because Disney, again, let's go where the money is. They identify that we've got a lot of people from these various communities that are consumers of our product. We want to make sure we're doing stuff for them. That is their business choice.
Protect their ass.
Yeah, that is their business choice. They're like not worried about straight people because they're like, the straight people are consuming our product.
Yeah.
Or it's not enough of them and we're not worried about them.
Mm-hmm.
One of the two.
Yeah.
You know? So, yeah, the simple answer is, if you're not on board and you think you're being left out or Disney's going the wrong direction, check out.
Yeah.
You know? But I'm not going to make Gina Carano's issue my issue. I wonder how other people feel about that, because I know some people feel like you should not support certain things, and you know, I don't. Yes, there is an attack going on, and maybe I'm getting too deep here, but you know, on heterosexual people and us feeling validated anymore, or the way we want to live life. It's like we have to make all these concessions now, just for the simple fact that we're heterosexual.
Mm-hmm.
And I find that to be really odd. Like, I just heard, like, there's a thing going on now where I forgot what state it's happening in. But when you go see the doctor because you're having a baby, they say, which one of you are the feeding parent? Who's going to be chest feeding? They don't want to say breastfeeding. They don't want to say mother and father. They have...
For real?
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
And if I've had 2 children, if I would have sat down with a doctor or a nurse and they'd have been like, which one of y'all are breastfeeding? I'd be like, we're leaving.
Yeah.
Right? I just would have. Or if they would have called me anything other than dad or father, and said other parent or what's the term? Contributing co-parent or whatever it was.
Jesus.
They're like these, and I'm like, I'm dad. Yeah. I put that baby in there. I spent hours doing that. you will validate me.
Hours, huh?
Hours, yeah. It wasn't one session. Don't try to pay me like that. Over time, I enjoyed the work. But,
wow.
But you just like those things just shouldn't be attacked because you want to feel comfortable. Find your lane and fit in. You deserve to be here. But don't make me feel like I don't deserve to be here and enjoy my life the way it is.
Sure.
Right? Like you're not, I'm not about to draw all these comparisons because you can't figure out what you want to do. But I don't know. John, leave me alone. I'm not even gonna put that on the screen. I'm not. Minutes leads to hours, John. That's all I'm going to say. Minutes leads to hours. So even if it was just minutes at first and you compile all the minutes, there you have it.
I just want to thank John for
Class 101.
Not spoiling Daredevil for me, ever. I appreciate that, John.
I have no idea what you're talking about. I didn't spoil nothing. I tell you what you about to get spoiled on, though. You're about to get spoiled on WandaVision.
I'm seriously not excited to watch it. Like,
hey,
there's just nothing exciting.
Okay. So it's about to be done in 2 weeks.
Yeah,
right?
So that's what I'm waiting for. For it to finish, I can just binge it.
Can we do that together?
Binge watch it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm down.
Order some pizza, have some drinks.
I'll swing by. We'll watch it all together.
Okay, because it's not that long.
I mean, what are the 30-minute episodes or hour episodes?
I think one or two of the episodes are like
45s or something.
Nah, not even that long, like 38 minutes or something.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It might be one like 40 minutes. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. They say like maybe the last 2 is gonna be longer, but whatever.
Okay.
But yeah,
I'm done.
It's dope. Like even
no spoilers, Ra.
I ain't gonna spoil nothing. I'm just saying, like Garrett just started watching that. He loves it, so he said it was hard to get through the first 2 episodes, but
that's what I heard.
What
show doesn't?
Y'all ain't got no goddamn man. I don't know. Is it the age thing or y'all just ain't got no imagination? I'm not really sure.
I don't know. That seems to be the problem with every show, though. Like every episode, every show that everybody ever recommends is it just starts out slow. Somebody told me that about Stranger Things.
It starts slow. It starts weird. It's not slow. It's weird.
Somebody told me that about Stranger Things, and I was like, oh, so the whole first season is slow because I finished it and I was not into it.
Okay, I had the same issue. I was in, but I wasn't in. Like I was like, okay, I got through that. It wasn't bad, but I also don't care anymore. I don't know, but I'm telling you, it's gonna be dope. John's got a spoiler for you.
I don't want to read it.
I'll read it for you. Wolverine makes his I guess he's gonna say much anticipated debut in episode 6. Oh, MCU. He meant MCU.
Oh,
that's what he meant.
God.
Yeah, that didn't happen. FYI, it didn't happen. I know somebody mad about that, John, right now. Somebody mad at you, boy. They gonna find your address. I'm gonna tell them not to come, though. I know what kind of dude you are. You got guns and stuff.
Maybe don't go visit John.
Don't go visit John. It's not gonna be good for you. Oh man, I am spent on this whole topic, man.
I'm good. In a nutshell, give me your final synopsis.
If I was Gina Carano, I'd be making that money with Disney.
Yeah.
But, again, I get it. I get it. I mean, I've said it a bunch of times. She had her awakening. I think in many ways, man, and I don't want to downplay her because of her age. We're the same age, but like, I mean, I know what it's like to go through a journey and kind of discover yourself a little more, you know, and she's still fairly young. So, you know, just the way her life has gone, whatever, she's probably been always searching for who she is. And this is a part of it for her. And, you know, it's not pretty to us, especially us who would like to be paid by Disney.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I think of all the time, I think about who we could align with, which is actually, remind me after the show, talk to you. I got a couple ideas.
Okay.
But, you know, you try to align yourself with people just to kind of accomplish your dreams. And I think we kind of were in the middle of that, you know, like as much as we go, like, what are you doing? You're working for Disney. You're making this money. You're popular, whatever. She's like, but my energy is drawing me over here.
Sure.
And she made decisions based on that. She got attacked and she stood firm because that's who she is as a person. And the world is not built on honesty anymore. So like the narrative is getting spun so other people can make money, or other people can see other people fall, or, you know, whatever side of the angle you are. There's so many angles to this. It's so sloppy.
I do wonder how many people are going to be like, I would never work for Disney, you know?
Of course.
The way that they're whatever.
Look, I'm sure it's all kind of shenanigans going on. I'm sure there's more than one actor or actress that's unhappy with what happens at Disney. I'm sure. But again, I know you can't do whatever on somebody else's dime. If that's the case, go, you know, do what she's doing. Go align yourself with someone who feels differently, and maybe you can do your magic over there.
Sure.
You know, or go start your own shit. Right? Because you don't want to. That's why some people don't take corporate jobs, because they don't want that sort of life where they have to adhere to rules.
Yep.
So like, I'm gonna open my own business. I'm gonna go drink liquor every day, or go whatever, you know, whatever it is you want to do.
You know, contractor of some kind.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, I mean, that's just what it is. You know, so that's kind of it, man. I just feel she's assigned to do her, and that's good. I just think she needs to let this die. You know, and for her own sanity, like fuck Disney, fuck all of this. For your own sanity and sake, you're not going to change the world. And as long as you give these people a platform to get at you and you keep responding, they're going to keep talking to you.
Yep.
And so you're going to be fighting the same fight for no reason. Live your life, live by example, and, you know, the rest will come to you.
Yep.
That's it. We got to stop doing this, man. We got to stop responding to everything. Like, did you see that thing with Deion Sanders?
No, was he in trouble again?
When did Deion Sanders ever get in trouble?
I feel like he was in the news lately. What did he do recently?
He got a coaching job?
Oh, that's what it was. Maybe that's what it was.
Oh, not Deion Sanders. I'm sorry. I'm thinking Deion Sanders because actually something did happen with him. Somebody stole his wallet after a game.
Oh,
and it was somebody inside the facility. I meant Cam Newton.
Oh no, what happened with Cam Newton?
He got into a shouting match with a kid at his camp.
Oh God.
Yeah. And the reason I bring that up is because the kid was like, you know, the funny thing is people talk from a place of ignorance sometimes. Right?
No.
Right? You don't say. So this kid decided he wasn't feeling Cam or whatever. And he started, you know, telling Cam, hey, like, you know, you're horrible. You're a free agent. The Patriots don't want you. You washed up, whatever, right? And so Cam, the first thing he started saying back was, I'm rich.
Oh, God.
I'm rich is what he's kept. Every time the boy dropped the line, he go, I'm rich. And so then he got tired of it. And he was like, where's your daddy at? Where's your dad? Right? And it kind of went on like that.
Yeah.
And it became a thing, and people were like, should Cam have responded like this? And my point is, Cam was right. Cam was right. Here you are, you're a nobody. You're a 17-year-old boy who God knows if you make it. You're attending my camp that I pay money to and I sponsor to take little ain't shit people like you to give you a chance to do something.
Yeah.
I'm rich. I went through what you went through. I made my money, even if I suck. I was an MVP. I went to the finals. I've made millions of dollars.
Yeah.
You should, when I'm in your presence, you should practically suck my dick for knowledge.
Wow.
Right? Like that's just, it's just the truth, right? Even like, I don't care about Cam Newton, right? I'm not a fan.
Uh-huh.
If I was trying to get in the NFL, or just even as someone who's trying to be successful now as a podcaster, I'd be like, yo, Cam, can I talk to you?
Yeah.
You know, and like just try to get his ear from a business aspect. Like, that's what I would do. So the fact that this 17-year-old doesn't have that mindset tells me that, and he's 17, you know, this is probably just a mistake. But the point I'm trying to make is some of us never grow out of that.
Mm-hmm.
Some of us just never grow out of that, and we take that into adulthood. This kid will probably grow up and realize, yeah, man, like I was attending a camp and an NFL player, like we do that, right? Like I talk shit about my cousin all the time who played in the NBA, and I go, man, he was whack. He didn't do shit. You know what? He is 100 times more successful than me. Made millions just, you know, he played sometimes, just kind of a role player, bench player, like far down, like, you know, whatever. But, I mean, he got to travel the world. He's got 2 kids and, you know, he's like living his life and he's coaching now and all this stuff. And I'm still trying to find my lane. You know what I mean? So you got to remember that even people who aren't like LeBron James, Kobe Bryant, and all these other big people, Tom Brady, you know, when you're not those people, you know, even if you're the guy on the bench, you're still doing something.
Yeah.
You know, and Gina needs to remember that she's in that role. You made it. You made it. UFC, you did your thing. You made it to Disney, did your thing. You know, you've accomplished 2 things, and some people only accomplish 1 if they're lucky.
Mm-hmm.
You should remember that when you decide you want to come down to the level of people on Twitter.
Yeah.
So, yeah, man, that's me. How about you?
I mean, I just don't care.
I knew it. I knew you were going to say that.
I just don't care. Like, these people just... is one of the reasons that I avoid social media altogether, is just the endless, like, just rants and, like, you know, bickering that happens. And, you know, nobody on the internet is afraid to say anything.
It sounds like you don't want your social media job.
I just, I like, you know, sharing things, and I like, you know, making sure that my friends are doing good things and things are going well for them.
But
this show is
that's
great
your
to
role
me.
with the
Like,
company, though.
Huh?
That's your role with the company, though. So it sounds like you don't like your job.
No, I just don't like seeing the bickering.
Can't you post and get off?
That's what I do. I do.
Yeah.
So I'll post like a picture on our social media feed, and then, you know, I keep track of like the likes and the follows and things like that. And
I'm glad you do. I don't.
I pop over to my social media, and you know, if I see something interesting within like 10 swipes or whatever, I send it to you. And I'm good. Like, I don't know. I'm not on the internet, on the social media of things long enough to like
to care
about these issues. And maybe I should. Maybe that's a fault. Maybe I should care about, you know, these transgender things that are happening. All these.
What would be the benefit?
I mean, being more aware, I guess, or woke, as some people like to call it. I mean, it's good to be aware of certain situations, like, but some of them just don't, you know, affect my life whatsoever. Like the whole transgender thing where people are putting the pronouns or whatever. I've never seen anybody do that.
I definitely have. But yeah.
I have never seen anybody do that. But I don't have a Twitter. I have a Twitter. I just don't use it. Maybe they don't use it on other forms of social media.
They do. They do. It's just, I don't know. If you're not, I think you either run into it by accident, or you just kind of, it like kind of passes you.
Yeah.
I've definitely seen people with it.
I'm gonna see it everywhere now. Watch.
Yeah, because you're probably gonna look for it. It's on your radar now.
Yeah.
But like, I mean, I've seen it and I was like, oh yeah, whatever. You know, I've seen it on dating sites, which you better not be on.
Never seen it ever.
I've seen it on dating sites, and I go, okay, but I don't know, man. I just how do I? I'm trying to be careful. I'm trying to be careful because it's it's
You're representing the brand.
It's a hard conversation to have because you can't really say you don't care in the sense of people don't feel comfortable, because I would be offended if I said I don't feel which it's actually happened to me. That I don't feel comfortable in the world that I live in, but very few people are addressing it. But the difference is I don't fault. Like I'm gonna pick on John right now. John, I love you though. I love you, okay? But like I don't expect John to specifically 100% understand or take up a fight every day on Black equality on my behalf, because he wasn't where I was. Right? Like
as he shouldn't.
As he shouldn't, but that was not his life.
Yeah.
That was in his life. Right? So he could say, on the spirit of like, look, I got friends that are Black. I got, people that I know from here or from there or whatever. I care. I will support them. I'm conscious. I try to do my part, but I don't know. If it's not really in your heart to pick up the mantle and try to really, really get involved, then you're not.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not really your fault. It's like, how do you contribute to something that you have no idea how to contribute to?
Yeah.
And you don't have the energy for it. If somebody happens to hit you over the head with an idea, like, you know what, that makes sense, we can go do that, I can help with that. Cool. Right? I mean, you're not necessarily turning a blind eye, but so that's why I try to be careful with I don't care. I don't care within the context of trying to correct an entertainer.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care about that. That's not important to me. It never will be. And I also know people are going to have their opinion no matter what. So,
sure.
Like, why are we threatened by that? Why are we threatened by a hive mind mentality?
Mm-hmm.
That's more of what I'm worried about. We all have to believe and think the same thing, or someone's wrong. I don't know, man. It's weird.
Yeah.
But, ladies and gentlemen, I think that'll do it for another installment of the What You Know About It podcast. Are you done, Edgar? I think you're done. I see it on your face.
I'm good. I cannot reiterate enough how much I just don't care about the topic anymore. Like, I think we've said what we need to said about it.
Right.
And we've said what we needed to say about it.
Mm.
And I don't know, let's just fucking move on,
Are you still going to watch The Mandalorian?
Absolutely.
Not even phased.
No.
Good man.
Not at all.
Oh, man. Are you going to watch The Mandalorian, guys? That's what we want to know. Drop it down in a comment. Has this changed your outlook on Disney and consuming Disney products, watching Lucasfilms? Where do you stand on all this, this scenario with Gina Carano and Lucasfilm and Jon Favreau and Kathleen Kennedy and all that? What's your expectation? Season 3 is being worked on right now, along with all these other projects. And there's going to be changes, right? They already said they're having to rewrite Ahsoka because of this for some reason. I guess Gina was supposed to be attached to it in some kind of way.
Mm.
Any of you are going to, unsubscribe to Disney Plus? What do you think is the right thing to do? Right? We want to hear it. Drop it in the comments. Make sure you hit a like on this video. If you're finding us the audio version, again, we do apologize for that sorry intro because somebody forgot to hit record. It wasn't me, though.
Looking for a new co-host, everybody.
Am I getting fired this time?
You do need to know how to work Pro Tools. This YouTubery.
You know, I'm not even gonna put you out there because we just gonna have our first tiff on air. So I'm not even gonna say that. I'm gonna let that go today, Edgar, because I'm in a good mood. If you like the show, hit that like button. If you're watching on YouTube, hit the subscribe button. Hit the like button too on that one too. It's gonna help us out a lot. You know,
you don't need to like Tom Brady.
You don't need to like Tom Brady, but you know, I'm gonna think that you're a smart human being if you do. Share this podcast with anyone you think would love it or enjoy it, or you know, would contribute to the show in any kind of way. You know, all you guys who dropped a question during the show that we can or a comment, appreciate that. We love you guys being a part of the conversation.
Thanks, John. Thanks, Bush.
Yeah, keep joining us in that manner. You know, if you guys have a topic you want to talk about, show idea, you just want to be heard, be a part of the conversation, again, join us live here on YouTube, or you can hit us up on wukipodcast@gmail.com, or as the Panic Hispanic likes to say,
Wukai
podcast@gmail.com. This is also the website, www.wukipodcast.com. You can find us on Facebook and Instagram, where the Panic Hispanic does not like to venture, but he is in charge of our social media, so I really don't know what's happening. If you don't like what you see on social media, it's his fault. You should write him a letter.
That's fair. Send it to wukipodcast@gmail.com.
And let us know what you know about it. Guys, thanks for hanging out with us. It's been fun. We will be back next week with a live show. This one is going up pretty soon on the audio version. We actually have the audio version to put up with our interview with Richard Dorton. We didn't put that up yet. Still working on that. It's a little backlog, but it will be up eventually. No worries about that. But you can watch it on the YouTube. You know, if you didn't see it, it's the last video we did. Actually, it's the one before, right? Because we released the Valentine's Day one. So it's gonna be the video before. But other than that, guys, as always, until next time, be safe, be kind, and live a little bit.
Thanks, guys.